Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here. Welcome to June. Okay, 5 months into the year. How's that feel, huh? How's your summer going to be? Leave me a comment. I'd like to know, do you have plans for the summer? I know friends who are going on retreats, going on really nice vacations, or just staying at home and enjoying their own community, their own environment. Anyway, let me know. I'm always curious to hear what's going on. I'll be doing a few trips myself. We'll just see how that all goes. If we can be flexible, so it's like if it's raining, well, we're just not going to go do that. We'll do it another time. Those kind of trips. Okay, so let's start with socialites. And this week's socialite came out last Friday, and from the Fat Quarter Shop Quilt Along. If you're just joining, this is block number 15, The Split Star by Lisa Alexander, a really good friend of mine. And split stars are really, really wonderful blocks. You can do a heavy split color, or you can do it sort of light like mine is, like the blue, two blues. You could do two different colors. I'm sure there's going to be tons of variations out there. If you're on Facebook, remember that the Fat Quarter Shop also has a Facebook group, so you can go over there and join and see what people are doing. I can't wait to see yours. These are wonderful quilts side by side. You can twist and turn them and make all kinds of really cool designs, so alternate designs that show up because of this split coloration. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I am working with Fat Quarter Shop again this year for their Make-A-Wish charity fundraiser, and they and Moda Fabrics partner up, and the Jolly family, Kimberly and Kevin Jolly, the Fat Quarter Shop, will donate money. The Moda donates money. Then we have quilts, like my quilt will go up for auction or raffle, however they set it up this year, and so will Kimberly's, etc., etc. And you could buy a kit to do it like Kimberly's. I am making mine. It is made and already at the Fat Quarter Shop. Is done with Blue Mill, the Virginia Quilt Museum's fabric. So I had to film a couple clips, one this week and one probably next week, to show you mine, which is already there to be photographed and put up for what they're going to do. So let me show you. New Haven, I think it's called New Haven, or just Haven in the Blue Mill fabric. Here's the top done in Blue Mill, the Haven for Make-A-Wish. It is an awesome size. This would be great for a lap quilt. It's perfect for a wall hanging if you love to show your quilts up on the wall. If you wanted like a rectangle, what I recommend is, like on the top here, you do like a piano key, where you do maybe all the colors. You could take these different colors and alternate them across with strips, and then do one on the bottom. And it already has this wide border, so it's perfect. All you'd have to do is those two strips, top and bottom, and you could extend it. You could make them 4 inches tall. That'd make the whole thing 8 inches taller. So that would be a really great way if you prefer a lap quilt. Now this is going out to my friend Suzanne, who is going to quilt it for us, and it will be up for to raise more funds at the Fat Quarter Shop for Make-A-Wish. So it'll be one of the quilts that'll be there for raising funds. I'm not sure what the format will be this year of how they're doing that. Often they've been doing the raffle tickets, which is super awesome. So there you go. It's off to the quilter. It is so wonderful, this quilt, because it is not complex, and it reminds me a bit of this with the split coloration. That is a cool thing, and it's a fast make. You donate to Make-A-Wish, and then you download the pattern, which is free. So if for some reason you do not have any funds to make a donation to Make-A-Wish, you can actually download the pattern. But really, this is a fundraiser, so we're hoping to get the donations to help the children. So there you go. That's that. I'm wearing one of the patriotic tops that Kate Spain designed for me to put in her shop, and it also has mugs and a few other things. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite, with the star, the quilty star. Now I have a couple other things. Let me show you a little progress with my cross stitch. Are you stitching along on Cherished Friends? a lot of my buddies that help me, I call them the ambassadors, they're stitching on this as well. Not all of them cross stitch, but a bunch of them that do are making it. So here is where I am. I've added in a little bit of yellow in between here, which was not on the pattern. I changed to yellow here into here, and I took a slightly different red for the star points. I'm not going to do mine asymmetrical like the pattern. I am going to make all red and then figure it out. I'm not sure. I think I'll do all red, and then I will figure out this background here. I may end up with that as maybe something like this taupe back behind here, and then in the center I might do like maybe yellow center, and then I don't know, pink and turquoise, something like that. So I'm thinking on it. And I can't remember if I showed you where I was with Liberty, but I did the entire Liberty, and it is from this booklet here. There's the piece. So it is a lot of keeping track for this cursive, which I didn't know. It's the first time I've ever done cursive letters. I love them, but they took a lot of concentration, which is okay. And a few things came in the mail. A postcard from Gina. That's a really neat design on that postcard. And Pam sent me a letter, and she was going through some old cross-stitch magazines, and so she pulled this out of her cross-stitch magazine and sent it to me. Do they have a date? Autumn 2025. Let's do some more recent one called Just Cross Stitch. So if you love that and want to find the magazine, isn't that pretty? Thank you so much. And the other thing I got was a new ring design that they've come out with the quilting tomato. I have this one here, which has the gingham and the heart. Oops, that's a magnet. This is a magnet from the same people that make the Kohana, that make the scissors. It's Japanese. It is so enjoyable for me to be back doing some handwork. It is just a real pleasure. I usually stitch multiple times a day, but for tiny segments, maybe 10 minutes. But multiple times during the day if I'm really kind of on a roll with something, like doing the word Liberty, because I took a little bit of time. And it's really fun. It's a nice little break, and I'm really enjoying it. I have been gathering, making sure I have all my ducks in a row. There are several quilt alongs I have planned for this year still that I want to start showing you them over the next few days, so that you can, next few weeks on each of these videos. I'll show you one of them so you can be prepared to sew along if you want to sew along. And that's all of them I'll have planned. So the first is with this pattern called Jubilee and my So Charming fabric. So this is not my So Charming fabric, but here is one of the blocks of Jubilee. So they're big blocks. These are spectacular. You could do, I have a feeling, did I do one of these for something way while back? Because the pattern's been out a little while from the Fat Quarter Shop. But I just, look at this. And so you can see on here, some of the blocks have like a darker background. All the blocks have a darker background, and then all of the kind of star images are in the light, which is this nice reverse process. Now you can get a kit using my fabrics. These are my latest fabrics that are now in the stores, or you can make your own. You could do a table runner. You could just do one block like for your front door, and I hope you sew along. And we'll probably start this in 2 to 3 weeks. So you want to go ahead and get ready for that. So that's the one I'll show you this week. I have another one with So Charming. Then we have the free Christmas mystery in July from the Fat Quarter Shop, and the free fall mystery in August from the Fat Quarter Shop. So it's July and August just this year for their mysteries, and they are so generous to do those for us. Let's take a look at, let's see, I'm trying to be sure I don't lose anything here. I need to show you. I started messing around with all of the state fabrics. Ooh, there's a lot of work, but let me show you where I am. To get going on this, I had already created a state list and made it by groups of 10 so that I could package everything into these bags by state, which were multiple bags at one point. So anyways, I have that list so I can use it as a checklist and mark off, even though I have, I think, one of these in each of the bags. I just printed a new one. Then I went ahead and did the original 13 colonies. I just grabbed this from one of the sites. I also went to a wiki, so ignore those dates because I'm not sure all those dates are accurate. But anyways, a lot of places will group them by the New England colonies of these 4: Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut. The middle colony is New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And the southern colonies, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. These will be in the center here. And the 2 that I lived in, plus I will put Washington, D.C. in order to get, I don't have to redraft. So that'll all fill in for these stars here. And more than likely, a lot of these centers won't be square in a square because I need all that space for the actual fabric to show. Out here is where I will do the piano keys. The piano keys are just a rectangle strip, which will be the different fabrics. So I'll be going through and finding out which of these are very tiny, maybe, that are too tiny the name to be able to do a strip. I don't want it to get lost, so I might have a few stars. And then I'll also see which territories and colonies that I have fabrics for. So I have a handful of those that there were fabric lines for, so that's really cool, and they will be here. On the back I have fabric that was donated to me, big chunks for the back. And maybe I'll put some strips on the back, maybe I won't. This is a lot of work, and so I'm not sure that I want to put that much work into the back. Okay, here is where I start, and whatever this bag, this is what I did. Here's one. This is what I did for, and I was going through here and checking off because I was kind of going through trying to figure out sizes and looking at these particular ones that I'd already reviewed. And yeah, so I have to go back through that now because I have a new plan with piano keyboarder. I didn't have that plan before. So I will go through and you can see something like, what do we got here? This is South Dakota. And so, yeah, that is what, and I kept, the bigger piece. So now I might be doing a bigger piece rather than the smaller piece for South Dakota, particularly since I won't be it's not one of the 13 colonies. So. Okay, and for those of you who might have forgotten what the 13 colonies are, they are the original states that made up the United States. So that's what that is. Okay, this is step 1, which will be a little bit tedious. I might show you a picture of some of the stuff laid out here. I decided it was going to be easier for me to spot the 13 colonies if I just highlighted them. So as I go to each bag, like this bag here starts with South Dakota. So in the South Dakota bag, I've got Virginia and DC that I'll pull out for the 13 colonies, and then the rest of them I will be reviewing for the width. So I might as well just pull this bag out, put it on the counter, or put it out here so you can kind of see what's going on. Well, I pulled the chair over so I have some extra workspace. I had already gone through some of them and used these new clips to keep things on track. So what I'm going to do is put them out on here in order that they're on this list. And then these are some that I'm not sure, maybe I just didn't get to them the other day. I kind of ran out of steam because I was getting a little worried because a lot of the shapes were not going to fit in the stars. And so I had to regroup. And then down here are the rest of the state bags. And this is some of the red, white, and blue fabric that I pulled as potentials to use. And then here is a backing that I was sent plenty of for this. So okay, let me get this laid out. These are laid out. I have all the ones from that I pulled when I culled down, so I had a working number of fabrics, and this is all for the center of the bell, all the stars in the center of the bell. So I have everything here. I just pinned this up because that's what we have design boards for. And then the other stack was a lot of multi-state fabric. So this has flags. You can see our friend from Oklahoma sent this with the heart pin on there. But these have all different states. This is got Maine, Connecticut, etc. These all have different states. And then I have a piece from Samoa, and there might be some other territories, and so that I'm going to do as a piano key, although this one is very special, so I may end up just using it as part of the back for maybe the label, part of the label, like make a bottom part to write on and this be the top part, so I don't have to cut it at all because it's too long for the piano key. So, and then there was a few other countries people sent me, but those of course don't fit in here for the US anniversary, but I appreciate our friends sending them to me. Okay, so I have to make a little bit of notes and things, but this is the process. Now I will go through the rest of the bags to do the other 40 states, to get the other, the other groupings that I have, and then I'll be able to draft what's going on, exactly what I'm going to do for the border. My fabric will probably arrive I'm filming this on Saturday, so my fabric is probably going to get here for the Liberty Bell in about a day or so, probably Monday or Tuesday. It'll be here. They had to substitute a fabric, so it didn't, had to email me and stop the order processing to see what I wanted to do because they had run out of one of the fabrics. Not related to the Liberty Bell, just something extra I was getting because, that's what we do, right? So I couldn't get that piece, which is fine. It's all right. So it'll come soon. And then what I'm going to do is the bell first, but I have to draft out the border. I could do two things. I could just do the bell first and then focus on the border because the bell is specific states, and so I don't need to worry about all those other states as after I've got them sorted down. They're already kind of sorted, but I'm putting them in order. And I probably am going to go that way rather than take the time up front to figure out how wide all the borders and things are. I think I'll just do the bell first and then I will go to that. And that way it gives me some options, to be honest, because if for some reason I feel like I want to change out what I do with the other states, I won't have spent the time yet. I can do the bell first. So that's kind of where I'm at. This isn't all of them yet because I still have that last bag to go through, but this is the 13 colonies grouped up, what I've got grouped up so far. So, all right, my friend, I hope that you will join me on Jubilee. These are such gorgeous blocks. I can't wait to see what you're going to do. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone in June. I'll see you online.